and welcome back to the House Minority segment of Live at the Legislature. Joining us for an always fun conversation on the other side of East Honolulu is Representative Gene Ward. He is the co-chair of the Small Business Caucus and serves on the Committee on Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs. Rep. Ward, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How did we know it's going to be fun?
It's always fun.
Okay.
The ledge. So we're going to start this segment off with talking about a good friend of yours, Lieutenant Governor Josh Green, and House Bill 1075, which was heard in your committee. Can you talk a little bit about that bill?
In the beginning, Josh and I served on the Health Committee, which I serve on now also, and we got to know each other. And then as his ambitions grew, his Senate seat and now Lieutenant Governor seat, what we got kind of, if I can be very descriptive, is a hit piece, HB 1075, which is called the Get Lieutenant Governor Green out of his these blues that they wear, socks. But you know, I can think of no better time to have a lieutenant governor as a position than now, under a pandemic, under things where you need medical and scientific experience as well as political. So he's the ideal guy. But they say, oh, wait a minute, 1075 says it's effective after he leaves office. Well, so was the Kirk Caldwell bill, effective after Kirk Caldwell, who received from a bank 125 or 150,000 per year, in addition to his mayor's salary of 175,000. So if they were really serious in not having it a hit piece on Josh, they would have, when they said, okay, governors and mayors, you can't have any emoluments or any outside job, they should have put the lieutenant governors in there now. And now, since they know that Lieutenant Governor Green is running for governor and Kurt Caldwell is running for governor, it's kind of, choosing sides and picking pieces, and it doesn't pass the smell test, but hopefully it's not going to pass, and hopefully it'll go away. But it's one of those kind of sore thumbs that stick out in the legislature rather early on, as we are.
What was the discussion like in committee?
People denied that it was actually a hit piece against Kurt Caldwell, because against Josh Green, because after he takes his leave from office, the bill takes effect. And they thought because of that, that would be the case. But the same bill that they did on Kurt Caldwell, which was clearly known as the Kurt Caldwell bill, also took effect after he had left office. The irony of this, guy, and for those of us who are interested in these emoluments issues, is that the Ethics Commission actually cleared the mayor prior to this bill to be able to receive over $100,000 for a few hours per month. And it, quote, met the standard of the HRS, or the statute. I just find that just really phenomenal. Anyways, that's the history behind this. And we always have, we used to, during the Lingle administration, we used to get Lingle bills to make sure that she doesn't get this passed or that passed. There's all kinds of games, cat and mouse stuff that's going on in the legislation. The latest just happens to be the Josh Green
Absolutely. And we will transition on to, so you are the co-chair of the Small Business Caucus with Representative Kong from IAEA. And last week you had a briefing with Chamber of Commerce Hawaii and the Retail Merchants of Hawaii. Can you talk a little bit about what that conversation was like with the reps and what they had to say about where small business is in Hawaii right now?
Thank you. Great question. We had a double header, actually. We had Sherry Minoru McNamara, Hawaii Chamber of Commerce president, and Tina Yamaki from the Retail Merchants Association. If anybody knows what's going on the ground floor of what small business is doing, it's those two people. So we had them on a Zoom with the legislature. We recorded it, and now it's going out to all of the people in the legislature so they can know that this is the session where we really got to hand a life jacket or a life-saving, or at least hope, to the small business community. There's over 40-some thousand of them out there, and right now they're struggling. And one of the takeaways, and Kyle, this is one of the shockers, using UHERO UH research, they said that 40% of the small businesses that exist now are not going to exist after the pandemic. That is shocking. That is thousands upon thousands of people are going to lose their job. I hope that that's just an overprojection. But if even half of it's true, These guys are going to go down burning like that engine on the airplane yesterday. Tried to leave Denver and the thing just exploded. The danger is that, for example, the Small Business Caucus introduced a bill to make sure that the unemployment insurance tax didn't go up. It stays at the present rate or is declined. But if you look at DBED, I asked the other day the small business chair, Sean, from the North Shore on the Quinlan. I said, how many bills did the DBED put in to help the small business community? He said 0. And I'm thinking the whole reason for their existence is to promote, sustain, make survive the small business community. And they did diddly squat. So I'm rather disappointed. In fact, they took out one of the diversifications of the economy in the governor's budget, the aerospace development department, or the aerospace division of DBED, and they nixed it. They literally cut it out. And on the floor, we had it the other day that they have a travel budget in there so they can get swirling travel money away. But in terms of diversification, we could become the aerospace center of the Pacific. And we didn't do it. My point is this, Gaio, very bluntly. If we don't help small business this time, we are derelict in our duties. If we don't keep the survival rate at the national average, and we go worse, and we got the worst economy now in the nation with the highest unemployment. If we don't do that, I think there should be really a big shakeup of who's running this state.
And how do you think the legislature is doing at this point in session of addressing those issues for small business?
I think the undercover one that we haven't seen yet because Sylvia Luke and the Finance Committee and WHAM has not come forward, but filling the budget deficit is probably one of the biggest things. One of the greatest things that they've done so far is to sweep all the special funds into the general funds. There's a lot of people crying and weeping over that, but that's probably the only way we're going to make it. The other thing that we got to do is get rid of this pandemic. We've got the vaccinations. We're off to a good start. But I've said this in time again, like a broken record, if we don't get testing, i.e. the spit in a cup with our local Allure 19, as it's called by Patrick Sullivan, Oceanit, we're going to be always guessing, hey, is it safe to go in here? Is it safe to go? Oh, they got a vaccine. Well, vaccinations aren't for sure. The point is we need this 10-minute, $20 test to be on the shelf and like a pregnancy test for everybody to know that they're safe. Right now, they're right at the edge of FDA approval. They haven't got it yet, but hopefully that's going to be something that comes up in the budget, but I haven't seen it so far. He needs to get a pre-order in order to survive, to form the first pharmaceutical industry in the state of Hawaii. We always talk about diversifying the economy, and we're sitting on our hands with this thing just down the street from us. I think it's the Fort Street Mall. So we can do better. The bottom line is we can do better.
Absolutely. And with that, Rep. Ward, we are out of time.
No, we just got started. Come on, Kyle.
So thanks again to the folks at Olelo. Thank you to the folks at home for joining us this week. And we will see you next time at Live at the Legislature.
Aloha.
What are you doing? We have to go. I'm gonna be late for work.
It's Tuesday morning. I gotta record live at the legislature on Olelo. Senate and House leadership discussing what's happening at the state capitol.
So just watch it on the news tonight. Come on, let's go.
Hey, this is like getting the news before it's news. If only I could get this remote to work.
There. Can we go now?
No DVR? No problem. Watch Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. on Channel 49.